Thank you, Ollie. Right, Spain is marking its National Day amid a continuing political crisis sparked by Catalonia's disputed independence referendum. Yesterday, the Spanish Prime Minister gave the Catalan leader 5 days to clarify whether or not the region has declared independence or not. He threatened Catalonia that it may be put back under direct rule from Madrid. Let's talk now to Professor Alfred de Zayas, United Nations United Nations independent expert on the promotion of a democratic and equitable international order. He wrote a report for the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon on the right to self-determination back in 2014, and he's speaking to us in his capacity as Professor of International Law at Geneva School of Diplomacy. Rodrigo Martínez is with us, lives in Barcelona, didn't vote in the referendum, didn't think it was legal. He doesn't think Catalonia should have independence. And Elizabeth Castro is a writer and publisher who's lived in Catalonia for 30 years. She's written several books on independence in the region. Hello, all of you. Right, okay, so Professor, first of all, what does international law say and how does it apply to what's going on in Spain?
Well, there's been a progressive development of international law that has taken the right of self-determination much beyond just decolonization. I mean, we've seen the unilateral declarations of independence of Slovenia, of Croatia, of Bosnia-Herzegovina, of Kosovo, and that has all created international law precedents that cannot simply be ignored. Besides, the International Court of Justice back in 2010 stated that a unilateral declaration of independence does not in itself violate international law. And what is important to understand is that the right of self-determination is a right of peoples. It's not the prerogative of states to grant or deny it.
Okay.
Whereas the principle of territorial integrity, this is important, principle of territorial integrity is there to protect a state from encroachment of its territorial integrity by another state. You read that in resolutions 26, 25, 33, 14 of the General Assembly. But I don't see how today, in modern international law, you could invoke territorial integrity to prevent or to oppose or to crush a homegrown self-determination aspiration.
Okay. Oh, let me bring in Rodrigo then, because Rodrigo didn't think it was legal, didn't vote, but you heard what the professor said, Rodrigo. What do you think should happen next?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm opposite to the vote of this independence, but I think the professor is right. When he says the self-autodetermination is the right of the people. But I have to say, in this case, the government of Catalonia are disregarding more than a half of the Catalan people. So here, in this case, there is no the right of a great majority of people.
Okay, well, let me bring in Elizabeth then. Rodrigo feels like he and people like him with his views are being ignored in this debate.
I wish that they would be speaking their mind. I think they've been silent because they haven't wanted to speak. In fact, in the elections that brought us the current government in 2015, they were the highest turnout elections in Catalan history. So I think a lot of those unionists were present. And in fact, 48% of the voters chose a government that had on its platform seeking independence of Catalonia. Only 39% said no. So when they say more than half, that's not actually true. There were 11% who didn't have any opinion on the matter, who didn't want to position themselves.
Okay.
So
briefly, Elizabeth, what would you like to see happen next then?
I would like to see happen next is an exercise in democracy. The people voted on October 1st. More than 2 million people came out to vote, even though they were beaten by police and tear gassed and physically kept from the polls. And still they voted. They made their voices heard, and I think that result should be reflected.
Professor, in the end, the two sides are going to have to talk, aren't they? It's how you resolve everything, isn't it?
I very much believe in the utility of internationalizing the conflict. I think that Federica Mogherini, I think that the European High Commissioner on Human Rights, the Niels Mushnik, should offer their good offices. Also, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, should put in his offer of mediation. Then we cannot afford a civil war. We do not want violence. We want a truce. We want an armistice. We want opportunity to dialogue. And giving an ultimatum of 5 days, which expires at 10 o'clock in the morning on the 16th of October, is not very democratic. I think that demophobia, and I repeat this word, demophobia, the fear of the people, is something that we have to sweep away. In modern Europe, I think that my proposal would be, since not every Catalan was allowed to participate in an orderly, monitored referendum on the 1st of October, I would propose that a new referendum be called in which everyone can participate, and then we can call our friends from the Carter Center and others to come and monitor the process.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all of you. Thanks for talking to our British audience. Demophobia is a word I've never heard before, but I like it very much. Still to come on the programme.